Up until like the mid to late 1800s, all photographs were basically black and white. There was no other way to really take a photo. But then a man by the name of Frederick Ives discovered how to make color photos. To understand this, we need to go back and figure out how they even made black and white photos. So in film photography, you load the film onto the back of the camera, and then this is coated, whatever it is, if that's like a metal slate or if it's made out of paper or whatever material it is coated in some kind of chemical that when exposed to light reacts and then creates a photo. So basically, a black and white photo is contrast based and not color based. What this means is that it's taking all of the color wavelengths and creating them into one light wavelength. And then whenever this hits the film, if there's more light coming off of a certain subject, it'll be brighter than something else that has less light. So say your face, it bounces off more light than say my shirt would. So my shirt would be darker than my face would in a black and white photo. Now to make a color photo, you have to separate all those wavelengths and choose a certain one that you want to go to the sensor, if you will. And to do this, Ives discovered that using these little gels, he actually used glass, but in my case all I have are these gels. He used these and put them in front of a lens, and when the light passed through it, only a blue wavelength would go through to the film. So he decided to make a camera that could record 3 different wavelengths of light, and then afterward he would combine them. This camera was called the Chromescope. Now if you've been paying attention, you might be a bit confused, because to get it to actually have color, you would need color film, right? Because if you just put a blue gel in front of a black and white photo, it's still going to be a black and white photo. It's not going to be in color. So he figured out how to do this. Even though it's still black and white, the only wavelength that's going through is a blue wavelength. What this means is that whenever he's projecting the film onto a piece of paper to print it out, he can use a blue light to project it on there, and then he's getting the color back into the film, and since there is only one gel, he's actually getting the true color of the photo. But just getting a one-colored photo isn't really going to help you much. This is where the Chromescope came in. The Chromescope had 3 different lenses on it, each with a different colored filter. So when he took the photo, there would be 3 different pieces of film in the camera, and each one would be exposed to a different color. After that, he would go into a dark room, which is where they developed the film, and whenever he was projecting it onto a piece of paper, he would use 3 different colored bulbs, and then he would merge the photos, and by doing that, create a color photo. It's really pretty interesting, and if you think about it, it's not super hard to understand. So to recap, he would take these gels, a blue one, a green one, and a red one, and simultaneously take 3 different photos with each filter. And then he would go to develop them and use that colored light to develop the photo so that it was that color. And then he would mix those prints together and it would create a very natural looking photo. So, how am I going to recreate this digitally? Well, I had an idea. In DaVinci Resolve, the video editing software I use, there's a tool called Curves. In this, there's a little line going diagonally across the chart. The first one is a white line, and this is contrast based. Basically, you can think of it as black and white film. But then there's 3 other ones, a red one, a green one, and a blue one. So if I drag the green one and the blue one down to where they're not showing, the only wavelength showing is going to be the red one, and the same for the others. If I drag the red one down and the blue one down, then the only wavelength that's going to be left is the green one. So if I take 3 different photos with my digital camera, each one with a different filter, then the theory is that I can take those and drag the wavelengths down to where each one is its own separate color. And then I turn the opacity down on each one until it creates a color image. This basic concept is actually very similar to digital cameras. Digital cameras, if you didn't know, have sensors that record 3 different colors: red, green, and blue. See the pattern? So really, the same principles that Ivan used are used in our modern cameras today. So let's go test it out and see if it really works. Okay, so right here on the table I have some pencils, and they're just the colors of the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. And so I also have this camera recording, and this is the camera I'm going to be taking the photos with. And so you can see whenever I put a red gel in front of the camera, the cooler colors start to get darker. You can see that. And the reds and warmer colors are brighter. So that's how you can tell it's actually doing something. And so you can see also whenever I put the green one in front of it, you can see the cooler colors are brighter. And then blue one, similar thing. So anyway, that's sort of how you know that it's working. But one thing you want to check also before you actually take the photo, or it could sort of mess it up, is you want to make sure you want to change it to color again, and then make sure that your photo's white balance is right, because if it's all wrong, then the colors will be somewhat messed up, and so it won't work as well. So let's go ahead and check that and then take some photos. Okay, once you're done taking the photos, it's now time for the fun part, editing. So I went ahead and downloaded them onto my computer, and it's pretty important that you label them, because if you don't, you're probably not going to know which one's which, and it could mess it up. So we're going to go ahead and import those into DaVinci. Okay, and then you can go ahead and go over to the color page, and this should be what you'll see, or something like this. So right now I'm on the red one. So if you go over to your curves right there, you can see what I was talking about earlier, which is your contrast curve. See, you can change that, move those around. And then you have your red, green, and blue curves. So what you're going to want to do, this one's red, so you don't want to mess with your red curves. But on your green curves, the top little dot, you're going to bring that all the way down. And then on your blue curves, same thing. And so now you can see that the only color on the picture is red. So you're basically just going to do the same thing with the other ones, just you're going to do whatever color it is. This one's green, so I'm going to turn the red curves, take that down, and then the blue curves, and now you have green. And then obviously the same thing with the blue. Just do that, green and red, and you have blue. Okay, so next thing you're going to do is you're going to actually stack them on top of each other. I like to do red, green, blue because it's easy to remember, just because, you know, RGB is like, that's like what it's called basically. That's the order it's supposed to go in. So if you just do that, that's more understandable. Okay, and then what you're going to do next is you're going to go to opacity here in the editing tab, and you're going to change that to 33.33, and that's just the closest thing to like a third of the image. So you can already kind of see it, but on the other one also 33.33, and then 33.33, and you can see it's color. It's so cool. I don't know. I can't get over how cool it is. But it is a little dark, so we can go ahead and make these, select all of them, and turn them into a compound clip. And then you can brighten up and adjust it, because it won't be perfect, like straight out of camera, but if you edit it a little bit, it can look pretty cool. And so basically you're just going to go back and adjust everything to taste. And anyway, so it's really cool though that this is a black and white photo. If you go back, this is what you started from, and this is what you get. It's just crazy. So there you go. It's just so cool, because you're basically using a method from the 1800s on your digital camera. So go test it out if you want. But there you go. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. This one was a fun one for me to make. If you like this type of video, consider commenting and let me know what you think. And if you like these videos, also maybe consider subscribing. And don't forget, go out and take photos.